Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the 2022 United States National Snooker Championships. It's day 2, live from Ox Billiards in Seattle, Washington. A lot of moving and shaking today, that's for sure. Unfortunately, 22 players are going to be going home at the end of today, as all these matches will produce our knockout round that will start tomorrow, and that will consist of 16 players. David Burney's in the booth with you for these beginning morning matches. We've got a great one to kick things off. We have Dave Daly, rather local here, against Pravin Patel. And we hope you all join. Hope you have your nice coffee warmed up. And if you're ready, we're ready to go. And Dave's won the toss and breaking off, and we're underway here. So many of you in the Pacific Northwest will know Dave Daly quite a lot. He's quite a fixture here on the scene. And we're coming through to you on the stream through Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch TV. Search out Ox Billiards, and that's where you're able to find out and see all this wonderful snooker action of this championship. Had a fun day yesterday, lots of ups and downs. There's a few upsets here and there, as myself and Mike Dominguez were watching the first match between last year's champ Ali Al Assaid battle Jackie Wee, and Jackie actually took him 2 frames to 1. We did notice that Jackie was quite extremely well versed in potting. The one little hiccup might be his safety play and getting out of snookers, so we'll see how that plays out during the tournament. That's a nice long pot there by Dave. Recovering nicely from that in-off. Might just be a little bit of the early morning jitters. This looks like a good opportunity for Dave to take this blue into the top right corner. Come with some follow through and take on that red closest to the black spot of the 2 right there. Yeah, interesting with this tournament that they're only allowed 1 minute of practice just before their match. So it's a little bit of time to get that arm going. So you might see a little rust in the old shaft right now. But hopefully as they get going along, they can lube up that arm and get it swinging freely and potting lots of balls and making crafty safety play. Do appreciate all of you tuning in. Definitely feel free to let us know where you're tuning in from. If you have any comments or questions, we'll do our best to answer them. Snooker is a global game. We reach all corners of the earth here. We had many people tuning in from lots of places. A fair amount of Americans tuning in, some Canadians, also some Brits and Germans. I believe there was an Australian on the stream yesterday, so there's our good friend from Germany, Snooker155. Thanks for tuning in. Probably, I guess, getting close to dinner time for you over in Germany. It seems like everyone's starting to wake up on the stream, just like how these players are. We've got Pravin Patel, who's at the table. taking on the local boy, Dave Daly. Although Dave actually hails originally from Australia, or not Australia, Ireland. My apologies. The other island. Dave makes his home now in the Seattle area. Pravin just needed to get a little bit more into that ball. I think he did have the angle to come down for the Reds. And the chat was a good forum yesterday. There was some good debates going on, some good Q&A, some good trivia. Remember, we're here to watch snooker and discuss snooker, so leave the politics and religion out of it. We're just here to see some high drama on the bays. Oh, our friend Snooker 155 over in Germany, you probably can watch some of these early morning matches, head off to bed, and probably when you wake up and have your breakfast, we'll probably still be going. So there's a lot of matches to get through today. All the round robin will be completed by today. John, you are correct. That is Dave Daly. He was refereeing the women's event last weekend. So he's been an exceptional help to Mike here at Ox. He did play a lot as a youngster back in Ireland, and then kind of just the game left him. And then after a 20-year hiatus, he picked up the cue again and has just been enjoying it thoroughly. I think he's been in America for quite a while, so as we're trying to do with this tournament and many other tournaments here at Ox, is just create awareness of snooker, how great a game it is. And with the invention of the internet and streaming services like DAZN really helps us in North America watch the professional tour. So now that snooker is getting more and more exposure, I think more and more people are going to get into it. Get more people helping out behind the scenes, more sponsorship, higher purse money. And if you're looking for any of the updates, cloudsnooker.com has a live scoring tab. We've got 4 tables in action all day long. So with Cloud Snooker, you can take a look at that and you'll see the live scoring. You can also see where your favorite player might be in their group, what they're looking like. And we're just going to post a link up here on the stream. So feel free to click on that link if you want any information about the tournament, how it's structured. And also take a look at USSA.com. That's the organization that is in charge of this tournament. That's where you'll find great snooker news from the pro scene and also here on the American scene of what's happening. So black a little tied up over there on the side cushion. But the pink is readily available, so still a chance here. If Pravin can get a good starter and get into them, he could score heavily. Ooh. Just early morning nerves. Carl, thank you very much for your kind words. He's really enjoying the stream and all the great snooker action that we're bringing to everybody. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's getting a little funny down here at the business end of the table. I'm just trying to see in a glance if there is a pathway for Pravin to come back into the bulk area. Yeah, I guess he was kind of forced into that pot. Didn't really have a shot back into bulk. Your good friend Chuck Jones tuning in all the way from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. Glad that you're tuning in. Yeah, I think as the players are slowly waking up, getting used to the table, so is the stream. The viewers are coming in. Great to see all the viewership, because you guys really help us out tremendously. Oh, Chuck, I'm going to remember you in my will. Thank you very much. Those are some kind words. The commentary was top notch all day long. I just try and do my best to provide great entertainment for all you guys and gals watching at home. And Mike is now putting me on the stream for some reason. I do like to be like Knight Rider, just a voice. But the boss man, I guess, wants my face to be seen. But, you can always look at your local wanted posters. All right, Diana Schuler, who is our great tournament director at the Women's U.S. Open last weekend, is chiming in. Do all the participants play there for a club or a regional federation, or does such structure exist? In Germany, you have to win the championship of your region to qualify for a national championship. That's a good question there, Diana. I will try and do some research to find the answers for you there. As far as I know, I think they can still just pay their way and get in. Mike Dominguez, who's helping me do scorekeeping in the booth, he's nodding there. So I think it's just because snooker is not as prevalent as I think, it would be over in Europe and the UK. We know that Germany definitely has a strong support of snooker. They do and love it very much. The German Masters in Berlin is always a fantastic event on the Pro Tour, and the European Masters recently were just in Firth. So I think it's just a pay, and some players are playing out of a club. I know Ali El Said, last year's champion, he plays out of the New York Athletic Club. That's his club. Obviously, there's a contingency of Ox members, as you might see on the stream. Dave Daly is here. Obviously, Mike Dominguez, Francis Chow. So I think in the years to come, Diana, there might be qualifiers for these, because there would just be such a large contingency of people wanting to get into the tournament. And just how it is still an amateur tournament, that we can't have these tournaments running weeks on end, because most of the people behind the scenes and the players have full-time jobs. So it's tough for them to step away for a long time. So we'll just see how things progress. As I've mentioned, baby steps, and we're getting there. So hopefully that answered your question a little bit, Diana, but strong question. And hopefully you got back home to Germany safe and sound. Great to hear, Chris. Wishing good luck to all the players. We wish you were playing too. This is a gorgeous club down here. I like the real nice industrial feel underneath. The wood and the steel and the brick and stuff like that. And then you've got these beautiful star tables. Number 10 strack and cloth heated tables, really ideal conditions. Pretty much if anyone came back to Mike and complained the table, I'm pretty sure they'd be sent packing pretty quick. Woogie Man 007. Good to hear you. Thanks for tuning back in. It is going to be a fun day here. Lots of moving around. So you might see a little bit more edgy matches here, a little bit more nervy, more care taken into each shot. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Diane, I think the next event for the women is they'll be off to Australia, is it? Or is it Scotland? I can't remember which one you were saying. I think we were both struggling from jet lag. Definitely, if you're in the Seattle area, come on down and pay us a visit. Admission is free here at Ox Billiards. The drinks are cool. It's kind of a little overcast, rainy, typical autumn day here in Seattle. So that's why I think you're going to see a great influx of snooker players coming out of this part of the country. As the weather's not the greatest when we get into the winter months. So it's time to get indoors. Yes, I agree, Woogie Man. Some of these players are new to the game, and this is kind of their first tournament. And we've got a lot of ex-U.S. national champions. So when you start to see how the game is played from the top-notch players, it really elevates your game. I can probably say that about our female American players. I think they learned a lot from the Brits, and as well you, Diana. Just know how to handle yourself around the table, and why certain shots are taken. Obviously the name of the game is snooker, and that black ball, as we're taught as a early player, that's one of the most important balls because it's worth 7 points. But sometimes it's not the ball always you want to take on. So yes, thank you, Diana. If anyone's there interested in checking out the great women's circuit, got the Australian Open from October 1st to 4th, and then they'll be going back to the UK up in Scotland for the Scottish Open for the 22nd to 23rd. Just let me know, Diana, if I need to pack my bags. Yeah, I'd have to agree, Julian. Like, the Pro Tour is just so phenomenal. It's one thing seeing it on television, but when you see it live, it's quite amazing how softly they shoot, and the skill level, and just how great control they have of that cue ball. And that's pretty the name of the day. Hello, Simon Barker, the magical man of the bays, the mechanic with the most.
Good morning, Simon. We're thinking about you, buddy. Are your ears ringing? Because we are talking a lot about your work here. Everybody loves these tables.
Please come to Canada, Simon. I don't beg too often, but I only beg on the air. But we understand, hey, you're a man in need, but you're more than welcome anytime up to Canada.
I know Simon was just spread really thin this past trip, and a lot of people were left hanging. We need 3 Simons.
True. Simon UK, Simon America, and Simon Canada. I like it. Well, thanks you for the kind words, Julian. We do strive to put a good package together. to thank Christian Youngers. He is the tech whiz behind a lot of this. You know, I have to thank, is it World Snooker? You can correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. You got this great scoring software.
From the WPBSA. We were added because we hosted the WWS, and Matt Hewart gave us an account to use it, and it's just a phenomenal scoring system. Easily integrates with our streaming software. So easy I can use it.
Is that a slogan for something?
I don't know. Toothpaste. Is toothpaste hard to use for some people? I don't know.
That sounds like a dental worker right there when he's making reference to toothpaste.
I think floss is really the thing people have a hard time using. If you're still at home and haven't left, floss your teeth right now.
I'll be right back. But KG first frame here. We're both struggling to find the groove.
Yeah, you mentioned the 1 minute of practice before each match, and mainly having to do with keeping everything equal. We don't want one group or set of players to get more practice than another set, but I think predominantly we just have so many matches to get through that we can't be dilly-dallying.
And it's true. Like, you're coming to a tournament, and on the day of the tournament, you've pretty much done all the practicing you can. Right. You're not going to find your form 5 minutes before a match. It's just pretty much just loosening up the
epiphany right before. Oh, that's what I was doing wrong. I need to make it in the pocket.
Well, you never know. The great Jack Nicklaus, when he was starting off, he once, was playing in a tournament, and on a Saturday night went to bed, had a dream that he achieved victory, and lo and behold, the next day on the Sunday, he claimed the championship. So the subconscious can work in some funny ways. If you dream it, it can happen.
V.I. Lenin. If you will it, dude, it will be.
Is that a Lebowski quote?
It is, absolutely. No politics.
But if we have any achievers out there, any Lebowski-isms are more than welcome. Dude abides. Oh, Diana, I wish you had emailed these. They're all great questions. I wish I could ask Jaya those, because she's asking, is there a tour card up for grabs for this event?
Not this event. This will qualify you for an event that would. That event escapes me. But at some point, we'll have a Jaya behind the mic. He's the man with all the answers. But yeah, since this is a USSA event and it is for U.S. citizens only, it's because there are qualifying requirements and awards for winning this tournament. Move on to the next round. But I think you guys were talking a little bit about having some qualifiers, and I think the demand that we've seen for this event, we need to have that conversation and plans pretty quick, because we're turning away players, which is never a good thing. If people want to play in a tournament, we should have them. And then second, the standard gap in this room is very large. We have some beginners, and then we have champions. And so that makes for a weird day schedule-wise. So if we have the qualifiers, there's no other word, but it weeds out some of the beginning players, but they still get to participate, still get quote unquote ranking points for participating in qualifiers. But the actual championship is more competitive. It's more exciting to watch, more easy to organize, and overall just better for the players and the people who are watching. So yeah, we are definitely growing, which is a good thing, and we need to adjust as we go. Can't keep doing the same thing.
Oh, Pravin, that's a shot you make 9 times out of 10. Just needed to focus a bit more on that one. Yeah, I think Snooker 155 is talking about the Pan American Championship that's going to be held in Toronto in October, where the winner does get a 2-year card. I believe is the winner of this event. Do they get a...
As far as I understand, the tournament that Snooker 155 is talking about is an open tournament. I'm not sure that there are any qualifying requirements. There might be maybe some entry fees paid for if you win this. I'm just not too sure how this relates to a tour card, but I do know it has some impact.
I think that would be a nice thing. I'm not sure if it is done. Ooh, Dave. Sorry to switch gears there, but it would be nice the winner of this tournament does get some prize fund, obviously the trophy, their name in the history books, but also an entry fee to that Pan American Championship in Toronto. Unfortunately, TK is chiming in. No, there were no UK players playing yesterday. They're all American citizens. They might have at some point lived in the UK or maybe were born in the UK, as we have our friend here, Dave Daly. He was born in Ireland, but he is now a full-fledged... Pardon?
He might be speaking of Francis yesterday against Nitin. Francis did play in the World Women's.
She did play in the women's, but she is not UK.
No, not UK. Oh, sorry, I was reading TK's other message. I think I saw the lady playing one of these tables.
That's true. Frances, our only female who is in the tournament, is still active in the tournament. We'll see how she does today. But yeah, if Dave originally from Ireland, as I said, but has now become a full-fledged American citizen. So that's the thing, as some players that I was talking to love the great game of snooker out here, are living in Seattle, I think to have like a green cards or a work visa, so they're able to work here. Just the citizenship is another hurdle to get over, and unfortunately they don't have it, and the rule of this event is you have to be a U.S. citizen to play in it.
So a U.S. Open is needed, and hopefully it'll be here.
Yeah, and with the U.S. Open, that a nice thing again. The winner, collects a little money from winnings, a trophy, and then paid entry into this U.S. national tournament.
Dave put some chalk on the cushion to mark it. Chalk on the cushion on the snooker table really changes the reaction the cue ball has when it hits that chalk. So hopefully he didn't put it on the playing surface of the cushion and just on the top side. Either way, putting chalk on the cushion is a no-no. People watching at home, find other ways to mark the ball.
True, yeah. Like, are you guys ever interested in the coin idea? Kind of almost like when you're on a putting surface in golf, you put a ball marker down if your ball is in line of opponents. You got to mark your ball so your opponent can putt around with it. And I know we do a little bit of this up in British Columbia and Canada when we have these snooker situations, and when there's no referee in-house, or maybe there's a roving referee and just can't get the attention, we just put a coin down, say, just behind that cue ball where Dave's hitting.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But for some reason, when I put coins for coin flips at the beginning of every match, they disappear.
Well.
So as long as nobody takes the coin off the table and puts it in their pocket.
Hopefully the players would have coins, or just do something simple. You can do a penny. You don't have to do those elusive $5 coins in America.
Get a Sharpie. $5 coins. That's a good hit. All right.
Good hit, but unfortunately he's kind of just left it on. in the pocket, but we're getting down the colors as we usually do. Cord, thanks for tuning in. It's David Burney on the mic with Mike Dominguez beside me. He's the owner and operator here of Ox Billiards, doing a wonderful job to promote the great game of snooker in the Pacific Northwest of America.
We have Jamie Miller as the TD, tournament director.
Where's this green going?
Oh. Jamie's keeping everybody in check, trying to get this thing moving as close as possible, answering all the questions, putting out fires, getting everybody where they should be, telling them when to come back. So she's using all her skills as a teacher.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing sometimes. So many of these tournaments, players kind of just lose their brain a little bit. They're so concentrated on their match at hand.
So true.
That they'll just be like, well, I'm concentrating on taking this, tight blue to the side pocket, but hey, where are my house keys? Do you have my house keys, Mike?
Where's my phone charger?
That's a classic one, that's for sure.
So does he play this green? He was playing it. Thought he might consider a safe. And he may have gotten it anyway.
Yeah, a little raise of the hand. Looks like he fluked the snooker.
Come on, Dave. What's that word called?
That's a Christian term. He can he can push that as much as he wants.
Christian, by the way, is playing Charles Crouch on the Ricky Walden table. Let's check that score.
Oh, yeah, scored. I am from Canada, so I do talk a little bit about Canadian stuff, but there is just, a bigger history of Canadian snooker than American snooker history. But we are making American history here. And in the past weeks, this place held the first ranking snooker event ever in America. The U.S. Open on the World Women's Snooker side, so that's great to see.
That seems like so long ago. That was just one of the best times of my life, having that tournament here. Really, honestly, the people here were just amazing. They came from such a far, far away, and they were just so beat, but they were the best participants we've had, and yeah, can't wait to do that again. And we had some fun afterwards as well.
Yeah, hardly any gripes from any of the players. I didn't really hear anything at all. It's funny because sometimes I do some tournaments and you hear people talking like, oh, I had to come I had to drive 5 hours to this tournament. And I kind of wanted them to stop themselves a little bit and be like, are you aware that Cliff Thorburn had quite a commute? He had to fly over the Atlantic to play in tournaments.
Don't get me wrong, we always want to hear feedback and criticism, but I think what you and I are talking about are sort of the everyday type occurrences that you just kind of keep to yourself, and we're all very busy. We have games to play and tournaments to run.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it needs a great bunch of people behind the scenes to keep everything going and moving along. There's some long days.
Pravin on that brown, and then a couple shots before, I've had a chance to run away with this frame. It's just not taking them. And And I don't know if it's because there are times when he should play safe and he doesn't. I think Dave Daly has a better match play in this frame. I know that Dave is behind, but I feel like he is probably the stronger player in this frame. But we will see. No bias.
Yeah, Woogie Men, we'll try and do our best to get young Francis Chow onto the TV table, but right on this round robin phase, it's kind of roll on, roll off kind of philosophy. As soon as the table is open and if players are in the room, we're going to get them on the table as soon as possible just to keep the flow going. However, if you do look back, all the matches are uploaded online, and Francis, I do believe, was playing last night, a little later in the day. So if you wanted to check out her on the table, you can go back into the archives and take a look at the replay of that match.
Gord Kerr's giving you some love there on YouTube, Mr. Bernie.
I hope they're not expecting me to pay them back in Canadian funds. Since we are in America, I guess they all want these American dollars. Okay, for that black, that's okay. This isn't fun. On the cushion, black tight to your cue ball. I don't want to be in your shoes, Pravin. It's going to have to come down on the ball a little bit, hitting the top.
Wow, he just got there and shot it. Well, trying to zoom in and wait for the feathering, and there's no feathering.
Yeah, he didn't want to think too much of it. If he thought too much about it, he might have thought of a different way. I agree, Gord. The Canadian prairies, Winnipeg especially, that was a real hotbed for a lot of great players coming out of there, Winnipeg, Manitoba. But it just takes, a few people committed, wanting to grow the game. Sometimes if you want to grow the game, you have to hang up your cue, take a little bit of the medicine, and kind of be more of a organizer and
Tell me about it.
Yeah. As I think we all obviously got in this game, we wanted to play. We love playing the game. But some of us obviously know that, we're not going to be running centuries on a drop of a hat. We strive for it. But maybe we have that passion to grow the game. Canada hopefully can come back into the limelight. They had a great surge in the 80s when the big boom happened. So many great players from Canada. And hopefully we can do that the same in America. Because I think we're doing a good job here with these streams. As my personal story, I didn't know what the game of snooker was. It took until I think the late 80s, early 90s, when the Sports Network up in Canada started showing. I think they had a quote unquote called pub night, they called it, where they'd show darts, and they showed this great game of snooker, and this young little fella named Stephen Hendry. Well, he was older than I was at the time, but he was young on the circuit and new. And the Stephen Hendry guy just potted things like no tomorrow. And funny enough, actually, Mike, I was amazed by his potting ability, but me and my friends on the playground the day after, we were all talking, do you see this snooker thing last night? Yeah. And we would be mimicking the commentators.
No.
We'd pull on our staunch English accent, like he needs a plenty number of snookers doing that. So it was good fun.
What grade were you in?
Oh, I think that was about grade 3.
Grade 3.
Grade 4. So that would have been 8 or 9.
Wow.
So just going back to...
Been commentating since grade 3.
Yeah, just commentating on my life, inner monologue, but it just goes back to seeing it. You see it. So that's a great thing that we're doing here. People are now able to see it. Hopefully we're reaching new audiences. We have a great contingency always on the stream of people that are well versed in the game. They know it, but hopefully some new people can just stumble along and go, what's this game all about? Seems kind of cool. Maybe I'll pick up a cue or something like that, or maybe I'll try and mimic Dave Burney and be a commentator or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, I found this game late, and I knew my eyes were going. I think we mentioned my blind spots, but so when I got into this game, I knew my role would not be as a player. I love to play, but yeah, I'm 48. My eyes are going. The playing days are over before they begin. I like the safety that Pravin did, but only because it went 5 rails and it got behind the pink. It wasn't an airtight safety, but it was very pretty to watch. And Dave got out of it pretty well. Nice shot. Now we're all tied up. So Dave's been picking and choosing his aggressive shots and his safety shots, and I think he's ready for this part of the closing part of the game, because he's had a lot of safeties to begin with, and Pravin is only now trying to play safe, and is very aggressive offensively during the middle part of this match or frame.
Yeah, that black's in a funny little spot here, so either player just needs blue and pink, so you might see a little dancing around the blue.
Yeah, that double kiss was unfortunate. Just once again, Dave could have taken that shot. A little strong, but it would have been a nice safety, leaving Pravin a long pot. Going to try to stun it. Oh, he followed. Where's he going with the pink on a follow?
He's got a nice shot into the right middle pocket, so
if he had been above the pink, it would have set up for the black, but like you said, all he needs is the pink.
Yeah, just put all your concentration into this, Pravin.
Wow, that was hard.
I don't know why I didn't go for the middle pocket there. Is he going to fluke this up into the yellow pocket? No, it's not going to drop.
It's going to leave the black there. Ball game. Oh, what is that angle? Is it on the cushion? Nope. Try in the middle. So Dave now needs the black ball after this. Yeah, Julian Ray Williams says unlucky. Yeah, I'm very unlucky on that pink ball ending up in the jaws of the yellow pocket. But it was also a shot that didn't need to be that strong. I know that he didn't want to leave it in the green pocket, but there was a balance to be found there, I think. This is a makeable pot. I think at that point, I mean, Dave had the shot, and 2020 is hindsight is 2020, but he may have wanted to play safe.
Blind cards are tricky, but this to get his first frame on the board, always important in these best of threes. Oh,
goodness.
It's always a little nervy when it gets down to the final black. Dave's got a long shot here. Always tough when you go from one side of the table to the other.
They're both very rushed right now, but Dave hits it. They both got to kind of take it slow down just a little bit.
True, but we're not slowing down at all here. We've got lots of great snooker action. Stand by, everybody. Frame 2 will be back up momentarily. just as the players rack the balls. There's a great shot of the room here at Ox Billiards, host of the 2022 United States National Snooker Champion. And we're glad you're all tuning in wherever you're coming to us from, whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, or twitch.tv. It's under the Ox Billiards handle. And frame 2 coming up shortly. And we're back here. There's a nice shot there. Pravin coming to the table to get frame 2 underway. Julian wants more Dick Van Dyke English accent. I know Dick Van Dyke was American, but I do have to say, yesterday I brought a little Michael Caine to the booth. Is that what you wanted? Did you want another red to be onto the black? Fortunate that shot from Davies kind of tied up the black a little bit. Just electing to play safe. Would have been a tricky shot there, taking the blue into the yellow pocket, because you'd have to draw back. It's that open red left of the bunch. It's a nice, clever shot there by Dave. Bringing this cue ball back to bulk, but it's freed up the black now.
Wow. Paid off for Dave.
Now, I guess one thing I don't know if they talked about at the players' meeting. Now, we are playing foul and miss, and it is 3 attempts, 2 putbacks. There's an updated score there on the Charles.
That's, Charles and Christian. It's the little Cloud Snooker app.
But going back to the foul and the miss.
Wow.
Now, does Dave have to instruct Pravin that there is a red on, and if he misses, it's a concession of a frame?
He just did.
Dave did acknowledge.
Yeah, totally. As the roaming ref, he knows what's up. Dave's always thinking.
Good to know, because I just don't think that was mentioned at the players' meeting. Obviously, that is a rule that's in all facets of every competition. You know, as we say, in this one, there is only 3 attempts on foul and misses, 2 putbacks. As if you watch the pro tour, they have unlimited until they reach a snooker's required stage.
John Poon is in the building. Might as well tell people who's ringing the bell.
As long as it's not the Reaper. Yeah, they made a nice attempt on that black. He actually was getting some tips from Bex, kind of, where she was just saying, you just want a soft, short little backswing when you're up against the cushion. Because if you want to power up, then you're starting to lift up the butt of your cue, cueing down on it, and it really can spell disaster. Dennis Fan, the 3, it just came up just... that's just the number that we came up with. I think they thought it was a fair number, thinking in between that, if you do lay a great snooker, you should get rewarded with some penalty points. However, if someone flukes a snooker, or if Christian was here, he would be saying his fluker. Not many points would be committed there, obviously, if you gained a snooker off of a fluke.
Yeah, and it almost points to what we were talking about earlier in qualifiers. I think the three attempt 2 putback rule would make sense in a qualifier. But then once the actual championship happens, we should be using the full set of WPBSA snooker rules. But with the talent gap and the experience gap that we have in this room, it would be brutal for the championship players to be snookering the beginners. So yeah, there is some balance we have to do.
And that limit of 3 attempts is for the whole tournament, correct? Even into the knockout round?
I believe that it changes in the knockout round.
Okay, because I know...
if memory serves me correct, which normally doesn't, is that once you get to the knockout round, especially in the finals, it's unlimited. We can check that with a JM.
Sure, because there is also a rule here that when the colors are on, if a player is needing 4 or more snookers to win, the match is conceded at that time. And I know that little tournament rule gets wiped away when we get into the knockout phase. But just with the abundance of matches that we need to get through, usually most players that are well versed in the game, when it comes to 4 or 5 snookers that they're needing and the colors are on, it's pretty much a concession. But as there's some new players to the game, some of them might want to just continue playing on, thinking that you're playing back down until all the balls are gone, not knowing of these concessions. So it's a friendly way to teach them a little bit about the etiquette. And that's what we really appreciated when our friends from the women from Britain and Germany came over. They showed a friend from Canada and the American players, all those females, just how you approach yourself at the table and the certain etiquette, tapping on the table when your opponent makes a good shot, not jumping around like a cheerleader in their shot. You want to stay still.
Yeah, it's so true. Nope, don't pump your fists when you get a fluker.
No.
The Snooker Shed in YouTube says, "Hello, people. What's up, Snooker Shed? That's a cool name."
Yes, he comes all the way from Scotland, actually. A good friend of Dave Daly, so hope you're enjoying watching your buddy Dave here.
Oh, do I know you? Were you at Sheffield with us in the front row, Snooker Shed? Or is that a different Scotsman?
I don't know, was that Stephen McGuire you were sitting with?
I think if I ever met Stephen, we'd just be in the bar. William Crouch. He's requesting Varun's match later today. We'll do what we can. It's a roll-on, roll-off situation. We try to get people who haven't been on, and I don't believe Varun has been on, so he's definitely in the mix. But no guarantees because it's very fluid. And yes, above, William also mentioned Charles having a great run. Yeah, Charles mentioned earlier that he looks like a strong player, although he is a beginner at snooker, from what he was telling me. Happy to win a frame. So he should be over the moon to be leading that much in front of a strong player like Christian. Let's check the score on that. 61-11. Charles is in front of Christian. Don't count Christian out.
And it looks like Ali Al-Said, defending champion, is dispatched of Amit Karkay, originally from the Nepal area. It's a great looking waistcoat. The design from his friend over in Nepal. So a little stutter by the reigning champion yesterday. As, he fell in his first match, 2-1 to Jackie Wee. But that only did benefit for Ale, as he's now woken up, looking strong to defend his championship.
But Jackie has been on a tear since that first match.
Yeah, all the results, the standings of the group stages can be found at cloudsnooker.com, cloudsnooker.com. That's where you'll find all the information about this U.S. National Snooker Championship.
He's no beginner, William Crouch says.
He certainly isn't playing like a beginner, that's for sure.
Talking about Charles. Perhaps he was mentioning this is first tournament. William, do you have that answer? Has he played in the Nationals before?
You sure a tall fellow. I was just looking out our window here at the booth, and he just towers over Dave Daly. Looks like Andre the Giant and Randy Macho Man Savage.
No, he hasn't. William Crouch in the chat says he has not played in this tournament before. So good showing so far for him.
Yeah, just
first snooker tournament.
It's kind of got a Ricky Walden stance where he bends both legs.
Yeah, I think they both have to. Very tall fellas. He has a strong pull background. William says about Charles.
Well, Arif, thank you very much. Really enjoying the streaming and the commentary.
Yeah, we have quite a few people really good behind the mic. Prathamesh Sawant was with Christian yesterday evening. If anybody wants to hear that stream, it's towards the end of the day on day one. Prathamesh has a lot of insight. He plays snooker very well, plays English billiards very well. And you can learn a lot about strategy, where to hit the ball, what the player's trying to do, and why. So it's very entertaining. He has a nice way about him and the way he speaks on the mic. Very fluent. On the snooker table. So yeah, it's a blessing. We have so many talented people in this community. little bit of a shot to nothing.
Yeah, Snooker 155. Talking to some friends, some players. Renat Danka has a little bit of an injury, I've heard. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it out here to Seattle. I was feeling a bit unfortunate as well, because I hadn't seen Renat in a couple of years and really enjoyed his company in the room. It's just a bright young fella, always got a nice smile on his face, but a very strong demeanor when he gets down on the table. I believe back in 2017 at the Richler Cup in Burlington, Ontario, Canada, Renat was just pretty much for like 3/4 of the first frame, his potting percentage was 100%. He was just a force to be reckoned with. But unfortunately, kind of burned out a little bit, and the strong and steady John Evereckian took the title. So,
yeah, I was kind of hoping he would be here. Never met the man. Would be nice to see him in here. Very strong player. So it's an unfortunate timing on the injury, as if there are good timing for injuries, but maybe right before a holiday. I don't know. What a bad timing. But yeah, it would have been nice to have him in here. Maybe we can have him visit on another occasion.
thanks, Gord, for putting up information for anyone that's interested in watching the pro circuit. The World Snooker Championships will be held at the Crucible on April 15th to May 1st. Jump onto the WST website. Hopefully you can get some tickets. And being there this past spring, Mike as well was over there. I'd have to say that if you're a snooker fan, there's nothing like being at the Crucible for the World Championships. Just the buzz in the city as well.
Yeah, it would be great to live in a town like Sheffield. You have no choice but to get better at the sport of snooker. Maybe in the off seasons we could turn Seattle into Sheffield. Have all the snooker players. Summer in Seattle.
Well, I prefer snooker in Seattle, but Mike, you're doing a great job here, I must admit. Like, these tables are top notch. These are tables that I saw at the Ding Snooker Academy in Sheffield. Funny enough, good friend of mine, good friend of the community in snooker, Sam Tawny, came over with me. We went actually to a place called Spot On Snooker Club, and honestly, like, the tables, springy, like no tomorrow, cushions and shag carpet. It's felt like the cloth was. So it, when you think of Sheffield, you think everything would just be top notch. Sure, they have the tables, a lot of tables, and they have some clubs and stuff like that, but I think some people are just there, they put in the tables and they're just hoping the tables take the money.
Oh, Dave.
And with a rich history of snooker in the UK, obviously they're going to have players coming in, but I think we have to go the extra mile here in America and in Canada, as we've got to, make sure there's good conditions for the players, because, they want to keep coming back. And if you give them good conditions, they will come back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Seattle, this is pretty much the only club. Seattle proper, that is. So when people come to visit Seattle, they only have an N of 1 in terms of how good the tables are. Whereas in Sheffield, they have an N of 20. I mean, 30, 40 tables. I mean, it's just an enormous amount of tables in Sheffield. So what our mission here was, whoever visited Seattle would, and if they came to a snooker club, Ox Billiards in Seattle, they left with the impression that Seattle has very nice facilities.
Yeah, so no touching ball. Pravin just taking a closer look. If it was a touching ball, he would have to let his opponent know, and his opponent would come and inspect just to ensure that it was a touching ball. When there is a touching ball, you are able to shoot away from the ball, as that acts as a first contact. Put one little hiccup to that touching ball. If you are on a colored ball and you're touching the ball, you can nominate that ball that you're touching and shoot away, or you can nominate a different color ball and there would be no foul. That is correct, Vineet. A member of the community up in the Vancouver area, British Columbia, Canada. Top 147 Snooker and Billiard Lounge in Richmond that Jonathan's son runs. He's updating his tablecloths. He actually might be looking into getting maybe some new tables. Not sure. We'll have to see. Don't want to count our chickens before they hatch. But he's doing some good work to just continue to promote the game of snooker, Jonathan is. So we really salute him up there in Canada.
Yeah, I know that we're trying to get him some new tables, some new Rassons up there. So I would really like to see that happen because like I said yesterday, I've never played on any. And to put some in Vancouver would be cool. Nice pot. Nice cannon. Everything about that shot was good. Nice little green here. One rail back to the red, then the blue. Then total clearance. It's that easy. Oh, he went too far.
If only it was.
He went too far. Oh, no. Well, he has the other red by the pink.
Now just a little improvisation you need. Take the red, then take the pink, go in, and then run the table.
Yeah, options. When the balls are like this, you got options.
Dennis, the Snooker League will be starting up in Vancouver in a couple weeks' time. Actually, head over to snookercanada.com if you want to register for the Richmond League. That's snookercanada.com. Fill out the registration form and we'll get you in there.
Oh man, that looked good. I would say he got about 40% out of that break.
Maybe you want to handle this one, Mike. John is from our friend from the Carolinas is asking, is a 12-foot table readily available for purchase?
Yeah, John, you can send me an email at mike@oxbilliards.com. We can talk about the Rasson Magnum 2 12-foot table. Heated slate. Sophisticated leveling system. I think it even does your dishes.
Multi-purpose tables, gotta like it.
Yeah, Pravin is hitting the ball quite hard. And so it's just leaving it to chance where the object and cue ball end up. That time it worked out. But in other times we've seen it not. Good pot.
That was an excellent pot there by Dave. Yeah, I think you see more often than not with the newer player, they think big table, I've got to hit it harder. Which is not the case at all. Just proper follow through will get you what you need from your cue ball. Mike, how do you feel about a 10-second video? It looks like our friend in Scotland, the Snooker Shed, wants to give a shout out to the Ox Billiards in the U.S. Championship. Not sure.
No, don't share this. Do not spread this information. We want to keep it to ourselves. Snooker Shed, that would be amazing. Yeah, everybody, please spread the word. We are here doing it because we love it. We're trying to do the best we can, and really the only way that we can get noticed is people like you spreading the word.
Yeah, getting the viewership. Then when Joe Smith over there at Coca-Cola Beverages say, hey, there's a lot of people watching this snooker event. Maybe I should give them some money and they can put my logo up there on the screen.
Pepsi, no Coke.
Oh, yes. Forgot. We're in America. The red, white, and blue, not the red and white.
Referring to an SNL skit, so don't get upset, Coke. We'll take your money.
All right, Snooker Shed is saying just give him an email and he can hopefully sort something out.
Thank you, Snooker Shed. My email is mike@oxbilliards.com. Did we see a fluke red go in?
We did. It just kind of glanced off the ball and went in there for Pravin.
Lately, I've seen Dave Daly do a few doubles. Not sure this double is on. Might want to play safe. But I like that he has added that tool to his toolbox, and I think it comes from playing a few 9-ball tournaments. Which he's done well in.
Yeah, that's okay. He's got some left distance between cue ball and object ball there. Almost thought maybe he might come off cushion first and hit the red, but when you're down on the table, you know your percentages more than anybody else. And it looks like there's a snooker right here. So this is a chance for Pravin to get some well-needed penalty points to just get back in the frame a bit. Nice hit there by Dave. Could have been quite costly. And the result of it, he's putting Pravin in a snooker. And that's going to go back. Now you can put him back once more, and it is his third attempt. Well, third time's a charm. And he's got the snooker there. Nice shot there by Dave. Oh, what a shot there by Dave. He had safety in the mind there, but take that, Red. Just wants to pull up just a little bit. He's got the snooker there. So Pravin cannot be put back, obviously, as we're in snooker's required stage. Just gotta watch out for that black. Ooh. Oh, and the handshakes came out there. So Dave Daly takes this match 2-0, and that helps his chances as he puts another win in the win column of this group stage. We will be stepping aside for a few moments. We'll just set up the stream. Unfortunately, my great wizards of the scorekeeping, Mike and Christian, actually are involved in a match, and their program and software, I'm not too well versed in it. So please just stand by, and hopefully we'll get the stream back up as quick as possible. Updated scoring and commentary. We appreciate your patronage, and we'll be here all day. So stand by, and hopefully when the new match gets up, we'll get it set up and everything will be dialed in for you. Thanks again, everybody.